on YouTube? It's your girl Sha, and welcome back to the Shaa'Vaee Show. My Greenleaf fans, how are y'all doing? We gotta check in with each other, okay? Because I believe we have about 2 episodes left. We still don't have our church back. It's just a mess right now. So let's check in. Is everybody doing okay? Is everybody cool? I don't know how I feel right now. It's just way too many things going on at one time. Too much shadiness. I don't know. I just feel like the Greenleaf family is just breaking apart. Like they're tearing apart. And I really do not want that, because I really love the Greenleaf family, but it's just too many shady members a part of it. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into this review, which is Greenleaf Season 4, Episode 8, titled Surprise! And it is a surprise indeed, okay? So let's just get right into it. Judy Whitmore is in town, and she plans to give a presentation to the Deacon Board regarding Bob's plan to turn Calvary into a mega church ×2. Now, I already thought Calvary was a mega church with all the different compartments and stuff that it has. See, it's bigger than my church, okay? Although City of Hope, we elevating and moving on up in the world, okay? However, Bob is out here trying to make Calvary like the church version of Walmart. 5 restaurants, Bob? What do you want 5 restaurants for? That's how I know that Harmony and Hope does not have any soul, okay? Because if you had any soul, you would know that all you have to do is reach out to the mothers and the aunties and the sisters of the church, and on Sunday morning, maybe Saturday evening, they will come right down to the church. Just get a big kitchen, because they will fry and cook up Sunday dinner in there like it's nobody's business. That's all you need. But no, Bob Whitmore wants to add 5 restaurants. He also wants to add a fitness center and a daycare center. Now, the daycare center I'm not too opposed to, but come on, you're doing too much with the 5 restaurants, okay? So you want everyone to be able to get whatever they need in one setting. Anyway, so Judy Whitmore is out here taking care of Bob's business, and she's going to give the presentation to the Deacon Board. But before she goes to meet up with the Deacon Board, she has a conversation with Gigi to let her know her plans about this presentation so that Gigi's aware of what's going on. And Bob Whitmore is supposed to be returning to Calvary in 2 weeks. So in a 2-week span, the Deacon Board has to come up with an answer whether they want to go with Harmony and Hope's plan to elevate Calvary, or if they like how things are right now. So as I mentioned before, your girl Judy, she goes to Gigi to present this idea to her, right? So she tells Gigi, I'm just letting you know, but don't say anything about it. However, we know that Gigi tells her mother and father everything, which I am not mad at. So the Greenleaves, of course, are not with it at all, because all this is doing is moving them further away from getting their church back, and then it just has nothing to do with saving souls. This expansion has nothing to do with God. All they're talking about is land and money. Oh, and not to mention, now we are aware that Harmony and Hope is buying lots of land or have already bought lots of land that is surrounding Calvary. This is their way of saying we are taking over and there's nothing that you can do about it. All we need is this amount of money that we have to buy all of these properties that are near you, and we are going to make Calvary into something that you would never have thought of. And you're right, we didn't think of it, because this is supposed to be a house of God. This is not Speedway. This is not Walmart. This is not Walgreens. This is not Wegmans. I don't understand what kind of church they are trying to make Calvary become. In order to prepare the Deacon Board for this meeting that Judy is putting together, or this presentation Judy is putting together, the Greenleafs come up with this idea to have a engagement party at their house. So as we know, Lady May and the bishop were supposed to be engaged, or he was planning to propose to Lady May last episode, but things kind of went sour and it didn't happen. So they thought, why don't we take this opportunity to invite the Deacon Board over for our engagement party, but this will be our way of giving them a warning of the presentation to come, so that when they are presented with this new remodeled Calvary, that they are going to be on our side, the Greenleaf side, and they're not going to approve of this mega church times 4. Okay, Judy gets a whiff that this party is happening. Okay, so she goes to Gigi and she says, Gigi, by any chance, have you told your parents about the plans for my presentation? You know, what I'm presenting to the board. And Gigi informs her, obviously, that she did. So Judy asks Gigi, well, is this their way of trying to come in between what I already have planned? Is this their way of trying to win votes before I can even get my presentation out? And of course, Gigi informs her, no, this is not the case. So Judy says, well, if this is not the case, why don't you invite me? So Gigi says, you know what, Judy, you can be my +1. So now Judy Whitmore is invited to the engagement party. Judy decided to call the meeting ahead of time so that she can have the meeting before the party, so that the deacon board's aware of the presentation and the plans that Bob has before going into this party and being segued into voting otherwise. Okay, so the party comes, right? And Lady Mae basically just gives a brief sermon about why it's not a good idea to do 50-50. And the reason why she gives that sermon is because Judy Whitmore tells the board that Bob and the rest of Harmony and Hope would like it if Harmony and Hope could have at least 50% of their members serve as on the deacon board. First of all, see, I have an issue with the deacon board because I feel like they don't use their brain. I feel like they're stuck in la la land. I think that, yes, the Greenleafs have had some troubles within the church, you know, just different things that have come up, some of which they knew nothing about, and it just came to them as it came to the congregation. Others, yeah, they might have done things in the dark that have eventually came to the light. Okay, but no one's perfect. No one's perfect. However, for all of them to really be so sucked into this money-hungry idea, it just baffles me. Now I'm looking at Lady Mae and Bishop like, who are these people that y'all have on this deacon board? Who are they? Okay, who are they? Why do we have to try so hard to convince them that this is not a good idea? So speaking of this party, Mae and Bishop are aware that Charity has been doing some a little flirting here and there with Phil, who is at this point an enemy. Okay, so Bishop is really not happy with Charity, and he's just like, how are you just gonna go against your family? How are you sneaking behind our back and messing with the enemy? And then you gonna come to my face and tell me you're in love with him? Bishop, let me tell you something. Bishop was not impressed and did not feel a soft spot for Charity when she told him that she was in love with Phil. In fact, he looked disgusted. Okay, he looked disgusted, just like I am disgusted with this whole relationship that's going on between the two of them. But being the father that he is, he says, you know what, Charity, I will give him a chance since you are begging me to. Invite Phil to the party. Oh, so now it's a party because Judy was invited, Phil was invited, and of course it can't be a party without Connie coming, and Connie's invited too. Connie's also a common enemy. Okay, so now they're at the party, and Bishop finally has the moment to talk to Phil about his affiliation with Charity. What is your plan with my daughter? You know the situation that we are in at this moment. You are on the opposing team. How can I trust you with my daughter's heart? Please tell me. And long story short, ladies and gentlemen, Phil could not tell Bishop that he could protect Charity's heart and that he could play or be a mutual person in this situation. What Bishop was looking for, and what I was looking for as well, was for Phil to be a man and say, you know what, because I like your daughter so much, I'm going to put this Harmony and Hope stuff aside, and I'm going to side with Greenleaf for the sake of my girlfriend, my future wife, future fiance, whoever you have plans for her to be in your life. For the sake of her, I am going to get out of this kind of business with Harmony and Hope. I will side with Greenleaf, or at least I would work with Greenleaf a little bit more to at least help you keep your place within Calvary. But Phil did not deliver that message, and Phil did not say that. And why did Phil not say that, ladies and gentlemen? Because Phil does not care about Charity as much as he says he does. Don't get me wrong, he might like her a little bit, but he is not going to put her before his goal of becoming head pastor of Calvary. Although that will never happen, Phil. Bishop goes to Charity and lets her know that he has spoken to Phil. And yeah, Phil seems like he has the potential to be a nice guy. However, Charity, I think that you and him should hold off whatever y'all got going on. Hold off on moving forward until Gigi becomes head pastor of Calvary. Now, everything that Bishop said before Gigi's name went completely out of Charity's mind. She completely forgot all of that. All she heard was Gigi's name. So you know what she does, ladies and gentlemen? She goes to Phil and she says, Phil, that recording, I want you to release it. I want you to release. Now, the recording she's talking about is the recording of Grace talking about her experience with a detective and with AJ stealing and how she lied for AJ. She lies to the detective to save AJ. So Charity wants Phil to share this file with whoever he wants to share, whether it's going to be Bob or whatever he was going to do with the file, in hopes of getting Gigi out of the church. Charity, you're not going to be an associate pastor at Calvary. At least not under Harmony and Hope. Your boyfriend Phil, your lover Phil, he's not going to be head pastor of Harmony and Hope. Why? Because nobody respects him, Charity. No one respects him besides you. You went and you begged your father. Begged him to the point where you told your father that Phil is the one who writes for Bob Whitmore. He's the one who writes his sermons and his books, and you thought your father was going to be impressed with that. I knew that your father was not going to be impressed. So how did you think the bishop will be impressed with something like that? You are letting Phil filled your mind up with all of these false possibilities, and it's turning you into an ugly person, okay? Oh, not to mention, speaking of Phil not being respected, Judy Whitmore seems to not respect Phil at all either. In fact, throughout this entire episode, she just proves to us that Phil is nothing but a worker, the help, an employee, an errand boy. That's all he is to Harmony and Hope. And Judy, only thing she says to Phil is that you're appreciated. He keeps trying to ask Judy, well, am I gonna get my shine at, rising to the top when we have all of these renovations? And Judy does not give him a straight answer. Why, Phil? Because no one respects you. No one respects you. And no one's going to continue to respect you. So go ahead and release that file and see what happens when it comes out. And let's see if you are indeed promoted to be head pastor of Calvary, okay? Let's see. The following day, Judy comes into Grace's office and she tells her the board has to agree with this plan. And I didn't want to tell you this, but the person who is going to be running Harmony and Hope or running Calvary when it is at this stage of elevation, when we do make these enhancements, is going to be you, Gigi. Now that was a shock to me and a shock to Gigi too, and I'm sure when Judy first found out, it was a shock to her, because for her father to skip right over her, skip over Phil, and go right to Gigi, that's how I know Gigi is here to stay. And this is what makes me feel like Phil wants Gigi out, but Bob does not have plans to get rid of Gigi. So Jacob reunites with Dante after this whole basketball thing blows over, and Dante is officially released from the team, which means that Jacob is no longer Dante's mentor, okay? So when Jacob meets up with Dante, he offers him kind of like a business deal just to help Dante get back on his feet and to kind of move the energy away from what happened regarding the fight, so that Dante has like a brighter future and can potentially get out of this rut that he's currently in. So Jacob comes up with the idea of Dante doing something similar to what LeBron James did with the I Promise school. So Dante's liking this kind of I Promise idea because he knows that LeBron James received a lot of great feedback from it, and he became a hero in a lot of people's eyes. So Jacob says, well, how would you like to do something like that, but with a school that is already established? So Dante's like, okay, what school? So Jacob's like, any school, possibly Excellence. So Dante's like, oh, Excellence? Isn't that your wife's school? And Jacob's like, yeah, Excellence Academy. That is Carissa's school. But and then Dante automatically gets upset because he's like, I thought you were gonna be different. So right now, what you basically want me to do is to give your wife school money. This is not about me. This is about you and your greed, Jacob. He's just like, you know what? I don't even respect you anymore. I lost all respect from you. You are not the person who I thought you were going to be. Zora and Nikki are becoming very close. And it's almost like Nikki took Sophia's place in moving in with Zora. And now Nikki's, hanging around the family a lot often, hanging around at the church. And so it's just making Sophia feel really out of place, as if she doesn't belong. Which I understand where Sophia's coming from, especially when you go away to college. And I think a lot of people who have went to school away from home, I think a lot of people can relate to this. It gets difficult, especially your first year, when you realize you go away to school for 3 months, you come back, your whole room is redecorated, it's turned into a storage room. You start to feel like people are pushing you out or pushing you away, and that's not the case. It's just that life has to go on. And Sophia is learning that life is going on without her there. Dante stops by Zora's house to drop off the rest of Nikki's things. Or Zora's cabin, I should say, to drop off the rest of Nikki's things. Sophia is there she escapes from the party. And so she's very flirtatious with Dante, which is very surprising because we know Sophia is just not like that at all. So one thing leads to another, and I think Dante kind of senses that Sophia is trying to hit on him a little bit. So he asks Sophia if she would like to, take a ride, just so they can talk, get to know each other, just take a drive. And Sophia accepts his invitation. So we all know what's going to happen right here, okay? Sophia is turning into Zora, and Zora is turning into Sophia. The tables have turned, ladies and gentlemen. So again, let's not forget we got to pray, y'all. Monday night before Tuesday comes, we got to be on our knees. We got to put our face to God, because we need to figure out what's about to happen these next 2 episodes. Are we getting our church back or what? What's going on? What's tea? What's happening? So thank you guys again for rocking with your girl. I will be back again next week to talk more Greenleaf. It is cutting close to the end, so I can't wait to talk more about it. If you haven't already done so, be sure to give me a thumbs up, comment below. Let me know what was your favorite part of this episode. What was your least favorite part? How do you feel about the characters and their situations? What is going on? Do you think we'll ever get Calvary back? Let me know. And I will see you all next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.